GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good evening. Westmont will keep its weekly trash pickup while the city shifts to a bi-weekly schedule, and protesters are rallying against the Jerry Park Tennis Stadium revamp. A severe thunderstorm watch looms over the region. Emma, what do you make of that?
Guided tour of the Bell Center are available Monday through Saturday, offering behind-the-scenes access to locker rooms, press boxes, and the iconic arena floor.
Tour run hourly from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m., lasting approximately 40 minutes, and include a narrated history of the venue's major concerts and sporting events.
Tickets cost $20 for adults, $15 for seniors and students, and are purchasable online or at the center's box office on the day of the tour.
Family-friendly experiences continue across the city, and the Bell Center tour add cultural flavor to our weekend plans, showcasing Montreal's vibrant entertainment scene. Lots to get to, let's begin. Here are our top stories. Westmont will retain weekly trash pickup starting in October, even as Montreal transitions to a bi-weekly schedule. Residents can expect unchanged service while neighboring boroughs adjust. Matthew Lachance has the full story.
Starting in October, Westmont residents will still see their garbage trucks roll by every week, even as the City of Montreal rolls out a new 2-week collection cycle. The Municipal Council voted to keep the weekly schedule, citing local expectations for consistent service. Meanwhile, Montreal's Public Works Department will adjust its routes, spacing pickups to every other week across the island. The change in Montreal is part of a broader effort to streamline waste management, but Westmont officials said the town's density and resident feedback made weekly pickups more practical. Both municipalities will continue to provide recycling and compost collection on their existing timetables for now. Matthew Lachance, GMNA News, Westmont.
Protesters gathered this morning at Jerry Park to voice their opposition to Tennis Canada's proposal to completely overhaul the IGA stadium and surrounding facilities. Organizers estimate dozens of participants have gathered, demanding the city preserve the park's open space ethos. Demonstrators, many carrying signs, argue the plan threatens the park's community character, while the governing body says the current arena no longer meets the rising standards of the professional tour and requires a major upgrade. The proposed redesign includes new seating, upgraded lighting, and modern player amenities. The rally, organized by local residents and environmental groups, remains underway as officials from Tennis Canada address media outside the venue. City police have set up a perimeter but report no arrests so far. The redevelopment project, still in the planning stage, aims to transform the site into a state-of-the-art tennis complex, prompting a heated debate over public space use and investment priorities.
Shots were fired at a vehicle in the southwest borough early this morning, police confirmed. The Service de Police de la Ville de Montreal responded to reports of gunfire near the Latching Canal, but investigators found no injuries and no occupants were harmed. Officers secured the scene, collected ballistic evidence, and began reviewing surveillance footage from nearby businesses. No suspect has been located, and the SBVM has not disclosed a motive or weapon type. The incident, which occurred at approximately 9 o'clock when commuter traffic is heavy, prompted a temporary boost in patrols throughout the neighborhood. Several nearby shops reported hearing the shots but saw no individuals fleeing the area. Residents were asked to stay alert while detectives continue their inquiry. Authorities say the investigation remains open and will be updated as new information emerges.
Governor General Louise Arbour, newly appointed, outlined her vision during a first official Quebec City visit, emphasizing engagement with leaders and everyday Canadians. Matthew Lachance has the full story.
During her first official stay in Quebec City, Governor General Louise Arbour sat down with CBC Montreal's Rachel Watts for an interview about the responsibilities she's taking on and her vision for the role. She described a focus on connecting with both political leaders and everyday Canadians, saying she wants the office to be a bridge that listens and responds. Arbour highlighted the importance of dialogue across the country, noting that her presence here is meant to foster a sense of shared purpose. She also spoke about upcoming engagements, including meetings with provincial officials and community groups, as she settles into the duties of Canada's vice-regal representative. Matthew Lachance, GMNA News, Quebec City.
The province's coroner has formally called on the Quebec Transport Ministry to accelerate safety upgrades along Highway 50 after a tragic head-on collision claimed 2 lives late last year. The fatal crash, which occurred on the busy corridor that links the western suburbs to the Laurentians, has reignited concerns about the road's design and lack of median barriers. Detailed report, the coroner highlighted the frequency of serious accidents on Highway 50 and recommended adding rumble strips, widening the carriageway and installing a continuous central barrier. Transport officials say they are reviewing the recommendations and will prioritize projects that can be completed quickly. The push follows a series of high-profile incidents that have left families grieving and prompted renewed public pressure for faster action on the province's most hazardous thoroughfare. Later, we'll explore the Premier's plan to let U.S. wines hit our shelves, plus a storm watch looming. Stay tuned, we will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes, the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. Welcome back. Quebec Premier Christine Freichet announced today that she is open to allowing U.S. wines on the shelves of the province's liquor stores, provided they meet specific price thresholds. The proposal comes as part of an ongoing review of the province's wine import rules, which have traditionally favored European vintages. Freichet said the government will study how price conditions could ensure affordable options for consumers while protecting local producers. She did not give a timeline for a decision, but indicated that a formal recommendation could be presented later this year. Industry groups have welcomed the hint of greater choice, while some local winemakers expressed caution about competition. The announcement follows recent discussions in Ottawa about trade alignment, though the Premier emphasized that any change would be decided at the provincial level.
Severe thunderstorm watch now in effect across multiple Quebec regions for Monday afternoon and evening, August 10, as atmospheric conditions favor strong storms. Residents urged to stay alert. Matthew Lachance has the full story.
Officials have placed a severe thunderstorm watch over several sectors of Quebec for Monday afternoon and evening, August 10, 2026. That includes the southern, central, and eastern parts of the province. Meteorologists say the atmosphere is primed for intense storms, with high moisture and strong wind shear creating conditions that could produce damaging winds, large hail, and brief tornadoes. Residents in the affected zones are being urged to stay alert, keep windows secured, and monitor local updates as cells move quickly through the area. The watch remains in effect until nightfall, and forecasters will assess whether it will be upgraded to a warning as the system evolves. Matthew Lachance, GMNA News, Montreal.
Earlier today, an animal protection organization disclosed evidence of animal abuse at the St. Hyacinthe Livestock Auction, one of the province's largest annual markets. The group said multiple instances of mishandling and neglect were observed among cattle and other livestock being transferred between sellers and buyers. Officials from the auction site have not yet responded to requests for comment, and the Provincial Agriculture Ministry was notified of the allegations. The St. Hyacinthe Market, which draws hundreds of participants each year, is a key hub for the regional meat industry. The organization called for an immediate investigation to ensure compliance with provincial animal welfare regulations. Police and agricultural inspectors are expected to review the claims as the auction continues throughout the day. If the findings are confirmed, the auction could face temporary suspension pending corrective measures, and sellers have been urged to review handling protocols.
Yesterday, paramedics in both Montreal and Laval voted to reject the tentative agreement the unions had negotiated with the Quebec government in July. 60% of the members cast ballots against the deal, citing concerns over wages and working conditions that they say remain insufficient. The rejection halts a process that was expected to set a new contract framework for the province's emergency responders. Government officials said they will reconvene with union leaders in the coming weeks to address the outstanding issues. The decision also raises uncertainty for hospitals and clinics that rely on the paramedic services, as negotiations could extend into the fall. Both the Montreal and Laval ambulance crews will continue operating under the previous contract while talks resume. Patients are expected to experience no interruption in emergency response during the interim period.
Quebec farms are pulling in a record sweet corn harvest, flooding the market and driving consumer prices down while other vegetable yields keep profits high. Ramai Gaudreau has the full story.
Fields across the province are pulling in more sweet corn than local markets can take, pushing retail prices down as shelves overflow. After a sluggish start, rains and warm days this summer have produced bumper crops of corn, carrots, tomatoes, and beans. By the middle of summer 2026, agricultural cooperatives say the sweet corn surplus is the biggest in at least a decade. Consumers see lower sweet corn prices, while farmers report higher overall returns thanks to strong yields of those other vegetables. The corn margin has tightened, but the abundant harvest of root and leafy crops is helping to balance farm income across the region. Overall, the season's harvest is lifting profitability for many growers despite the tighter corn market. Ramai Gaudreau, GMNA News, Montreal.
Now let's check tonight's forecast with our weather team and see what's in store.
A fast southwest jet is pulling a low-pressure trough toward Montreal, priming evening showers and gusty winds. On this date, the all-time high reached 34.4 degrees Celsius in 2025, a spike that rode the tail end of an unprecedented heat dome across southern Canada. The all-time low fell to 14.2 degrees Celsius in 2019, when a sudden Arctic surge blanketed the province with frigid air. Normal August highs hover around 26 degrees and lows near 17. So today's 24-degree reading sits just below average, while the nighttime low of 18 remains comfortably above the historic chill. On the live radar, the echo band stretches from the southwest, hugging the St. Lawrence corridor and moving northeast at a brisk pace. Showers intensify near 6 p.m., and the fast southwest jet will drive them into downtown Montreal within 10 minutes. By 8 p.m., the rain core clears, leaving a mostly dry sky as high pressure builds aloft. The map is otherwise quiet, confirming a brief isolated pulse rather than a prolonged system. At 6 p.m., Montreal sits under a mostly clear sky with a temperature of 24 degrees, humidity 54%, and a southerly breeze of 7 kilometers per hour, gusting to 18. Pressure is near average but falling, signaling an approaching trough. A fast southwest jet at 168 kilometers per hour rides over a strong mid-level ridge, adding moisture and momentum. The jet pushes a thin band of showers eastward, bringing a brief rain spell now before the system exits. By 8 p.m. the UV index reads 4, and wind gusts will peak at 28 kilometers per hour from the southwest, feeling brisk. A severe thunderstorm watch covers the island and surrounding municipalities, so stay alert for sudden gusts or lightning. With the rain pulse ending, conditions settle for the night as we turn to the 5-day outlook. Tuesday opens with clear skies and a high of 26 degrees, dropping to 16 at night, a comfortable swing that follows today's mild warmth. Wednesday's upper-level ridge weakens, allowing clouds to build and a 25% chance of rain. Temperatures hold near 25 with a low of 16. Thursday sees a low-pressure trough sliding east, bringing light rain and the highest rain probability of 35%. While highs dip to 24 and lows remain 16. Friday returns to drier air under a rebuilding ridge. A high of 21 and a low of 15 keep the night crisp, though a modest 20% chance of showers lingers. Saturday rebounds with clear skies, a pleasant high of 23 and a low of 15, setting up a mild weekend. And that's your weather. Remember, the local sunset is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.
Traffic's building downtown. Bell Center tour are filling fast, and the Canadians under 25 stars are on fire. Stay tuned. We will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. All major routes are running smoothly this afternoon. Autoroute 6, Autoroute 15, and the Daiquiri Expressway show free flow with no delays. Boulevard St. Laurent, Rue Sherbrooke, and Rue St. Denis are clear, and commuters can expect typical travel times. No accidents or road closures have been reported. The only factor to watch is the usual build-up near the downtown core as rush hour approaches. Expect modest slowdowns on the southbound lanes of Rue de la Montagne and the eastbound stretch of Rue St. Catherine after 6 o'clock. Wondering if you'll make it to that dinner reservation? Construction crews are scheduled to begin resurfacing on Rue Notre Dame at 7 o'clock, which could add a few minutes of delay later this evening. Transit services remain on schedule with the metro and bus lines operating normally. If you're heading into the city, you should still allow a little extra time for the evening peak.
On center court at the IGA Stadium, the National Bank Open reaches a pivotal moment. The ATP men's quarterfinals are underway, and Montreal will host the world's best battling for a spot in the semifinals. If you love sport, this is the chance to catch high-octane tennis right in the city. Across town, Montreal pride is in full swing, spilling into parks, clubs, and streets. The parade, parties, and concerts celebrate diversity and invite every neighbor to join the joy. Indie fans can head to La Sauterenia, where Cheater Slicks take the stage for a gritty, guitar-driven set that promises a night of raw energy. And for a behind-the-scenes look at our iconic arena, the Bell Center opens its doors for guided tour, letting you wander the locker rooms and walk the hallways where legends have walked. The National Bank Open continues later this week, so keep an eye on the courts for the finals. And now here's Jason with sports.
Habs' offseason buzz heats up as prospects rise, loans shift, and goaltending plans solidify. Yevgeny Valakin dominated the VHL, posting a 25-10-5 record with a 1.51 goals against average and a 0.948 save percentage, plus 9 shutouts in 40 games. In playoffs, he recorded 3 shutouts in 23 games at 0.936, ranking second and signaling contender for Montreal's net. Carey Price says the Canadiens have a genuine shot at the Stanley Cup, crediting the depth of their young goaltending core as a key factor. Meanwhile, Lane Hutson cracked the top 6 on NHL Network's defender list, underscoring Montreal's defensive upside heading into the campaign. Forward Vinzenz Rohrer, under a 3-year entry-level deal signed in June 2025, has been loaned to Ev Zug for the remainder of the Swiss National League season. The move gives Montreal a roster spot to develop other prospects, while Rohrer gains top-level European ice time. Jakob Dobisch says he's comfortable whether Montreal runs a 2-goalie or 3-goalie rotation in 2026-27, reflecting the club's flexible approach. Coach Alexander Carrier points to the team's youth and multiple playoff runs as evidence they can handle the added depth behind the net. 5 Canadians are earmarked for breakout seasons, with Lane Hutson projected to become the league's premier defenseman within 5 years. His and Ivan Demidov's contracts are hailed as high-value deals, echoing the long-term strategies of the Panthers and Hurricanes as Montreal builds a core for sustained contention. The Near Misses segment highlights 9 players who earned at least one NHL appearance but fell short of a full roster spot, a shift caused by 6 graduates leaving the pipeline. The group features several unproven goaltenders, underscoring the depth challenge Montreal must address as the roster reshapes.
Pingrove Farms in Hudson, just a drive from Montreal, has been feeding the region with organic vegetables, eggs, and pasture-raised poultry for more than a decade. The family-run operation, led by Alana Cosgrove and Matt Penny, discovered a suspected chargeback fraud that wiped out $20,000 from their accounts. The loss threatens their ability to cover seed, feed, and the seasonal workers who keep the fields thriving. The owners are now calling on legislators and payment processors for stronger safeguards for small producers, urging that no other local farm faces the same vulnerability. Pingrove is more than a market stall. It's a gathering place where neighbors swap recipes and kids learn where their food comes from, a true heartbeat of the Hudson community. Up next, we'll break down the 3 tragic road crashes across the province and a new 16-day shoreline cleanup. Stay with us.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. Welcome back. 3 separate road crashes across Quebec last night have claimed 3 lives, each occurring at different locations throughout the province. Authorities are investigating the incidents. Ramai Gaudreau has the full story.
Police confirmed 3 separate crashes scattered across the province late last night, each resulting in a fatality. In a rural stretch near St. Jean, a single vehicle collision sent a pickup overturning, trapping the driver who was later pronounced dead at the scene. Further east, on a highway outside Trois-Rivières, 2 cars collided head-on, leaving both occupants deceased before ambulances could reach them. The third incident unfolded on a suburban arterial on the outskirts of Quebec City, where a crash involving a minivan and a motorcycle claimed the motorcyclist's life despite a rapid medical response. Authorities are still gathering evidence and have not released additional details. Police are continuing investigations. Ramai Gaudreau, GMNA News, Montreal.
Environmental group Morissette has launched a 16-day shoreline cleanup along the St. Lawrence River to combat pollution threatening whales, turtles, and other wildlife. Colette Barbeau has the full story.
Volunteers are gathering along the St. Lawrence River shoreline as the Morissette Environmental Group kicks off a 16-day cleanup. Teams will work each day to pull trash and other pollutants from the banks, aiming to reduce the contamination that threatens whales, turtles, and a host of other marine creatures. Organizers say the effort is designed to lift water quality and give the river's wildlife a better chance to thrive. The project runs continuously for 16 days, with community members and local partners rotating shifts to cover the extensive stretch of shoreline. Officials hope the concentrated action will make a noticeable dent in the debris that has built up over recent years. Protecting the river's ecosystem remains the core motivation behind the marathon effort. Colette Barbeau, GMNA News, St. Lawrence.
Thanks, Montreal, for joining us on the local sunset. Tonight's highlight was Governor General Louise Arbour's insight during her Quebec City visit. Stay safe, stay curious, and tune in tomorrow for more of the stories that shape our city. Tomorrow we'll break down the new storm watch for Quebec and update you on Westmount's trash schedule change.